It is time now for all things current in California politics. We welcome in Rich Ehisen, who is the editor-in-chief of Capital Weekly publication. Rich, always good to have you here. So the governor has put a pause on state workers returning to the office in a full-time or however many days a week. Is this a one-year extension? And does this also show the power of the SEIU, the union, which was really beefing this?
Well, we got a couple of different. First, it was some of the engineers, and then it was judges and judicial folks. The rest is still being negotiated. We'll see. I think at the end of the day, it's more than likely, yes, SEIU is going to get its way because they're pushing really hard. More than likely that the whole thing's going to probably get put off until next July. That'd be my guess.
We have a situation with, and this has come up a lot, with high-profile companies in California, their headquarters moving out of state.
Sure.
You have Tesla doing this. We have Chevron. Is there anything to this, and is this a bit of a worrisome trend? Because they're taking a lot of tax money with them to wherever they're going, Texas or Colorado or wherever.
It's nowhere near as bad as it probably sounds. Now, from 2011 to now, has it gone up a little bit? Yes. I think in 2011 there was about 150. Now there was 200. That's not a significant number. It's still less than 2%. You have to remember there are still almost 50,000 corporate headquarters in the state of California. So 2% ends up being a big number, but it's still 1.9%. It's not really that big of a number.
For the companies that are leaving, is it because of politics? Is it because of the tax structure? Is it because, as they say, California is not an easy place to do business with all the regulations?
I think that's an all of the above.
Okay.
Because, I mean, a lot of times, sure, it's the tax structure for sure. I think politics is at the bottom of that, but most of the time it's the tax structure and, honestly, workforce. You really need to have a particular kind of workforce for a lot of businesses. We have, in theory, the most educated workforce in the country, but, it depends on what you're doing. But I really do think the tax structure and regulatory environment are the biggest issues.
Okay, the state budget seems to be moving towards being finalized here after all of this. Are there winners and losers in what happened? What about Medi-Cal?
Well, there are definitely. That's a splitting the baby kind of a thing because it looks like the governor has backed off on some of the more draconian cuts he wanted. And again, this, as we're speaking, this is still being negotiated. But Hollywood seems to be coming out well ahead here. It looks like he's going to get about $750 million tax credit for Hollywood, trying to encourage filmmakers and TV producers to stay in California with their productions. I'd say so far, honestly, I think they're by far the biggest winners. Given everything else that's going on. Again, he backed off on some of the more draconian cuts on healthcare, or for Medi-Cal. Though if you are an undocumented person in the state of California, come January, much fewer of them are going to be able to enroll. We're seeing cuts to dental healthcare for current enrollees. So definitely some folks there that are not going to come out well on this.
Is the idea to balance the budget? And is that possible considering the hole that we're in?
Well, they're going to have to balance it. A lot of it's going to be done with rainy day funds and some reserves. I know the legislature proposed some borrowing, which the governor is adamantly opposed to.
Right.
They're certainly talking about tax hikes. The governor is adamantly opposed to that too. So there's some things right now, as we speak, dealing with some CEQA reform that's really going to hold things up probably into next week. But I think that's going to get done because the governor really wants that to get done.
Voters overwhelmingly passed Prop 36, like 70%. There was no funding available to enforce that or enact that. Now there's $110 million in this budget deal. What do you think that $110 million can do, and what do you think the cost is needed to implement that?
Well, the advocates for Prop 36 say that we needed about $400 million to successfully implement this. They got 110. I think from the governor's perspective, that's $110 million you didn't have before.
Right.
What can they do? Well, it depends on, of course, how they parse these things out. There's a drug rehabilitation element to this, incarceration. So,
right.
And prices vary county to county, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see it with each individual county is probably going to have to make up the difference on that. Rich Ehisen, thank you. If you'd like to reach out to Rich Ehisen, you can do so. Rich.Eisen at capitalweekly.net.